Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Desmond, and my pronouns are he, him.
And I'm Quill. My pronouns are they, them, and we are happy to serve this congregation as your youth representatives of your Board of Trustees. Welcome to First U, whether you're joining us online or in person, and whether you are a new face or a familiar one. We are glad you are here. If this is your first visit, please stop by the welcome table and out in the gallery for your first-time visitor gift.
Everyone, please let us know you are here today by scanning the QR code on your order of service or on the screen. Here you can check in, find our order of service, the Joys and Sorrows form, and our donations page. We now have a few announcements.
Good morning. My name is Caroline Noonan. My pronouns are she, her. You may recall a short video of me sitting in my attic next to a pile of stuff, asking for rummage sale volunteers at last year's annual meeting in June. Soon volunteers responded, and this dedicated group met for 8 months. Please thank Laura Amadian, Myra Cooley-Hartman, Sue Farnlocker, Sam Haddon, Pat Hoffman, Judy Clean, Mary Lou McDonald, Susan O'Donnell, Chris Sullivan, Lisa Workman, and Emily Wampler. But wait, there's more. And me. Yesterday was the culmination in which our community came together in what I think is our largest community event since the pandemic. I've talked with people I haven't seen since 2020. What about you? You, this community, joined together as one powerful force for good. You baked. You worked throughout the week and the day of the sale. You donated, packed, unpacked, loaded, unloaded, hauled, carried, cleaned, and cleaned up so we could be here today. Thank you. The Ready, Set, Rummage goal was to raise a mere $10,000. Our community raised over $16,500. We surpassed our goal by 150%. To help with planning for next sale, if you signed up online or signed in on a clipboard at some point throughout the week, you're good. If we missed you, please see me in Beach Hall after the service, or if you're online, shoot an email to rummage@firstucolumbus.org. so that we can have an accurate head count of all that our community did. Mostly, I just want to say thanks. You're an amazing group of people, and we have raised enough money that we can continue our good works together. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Caroline Mocharski, and this is my final year participating in the First UU youth group. I have spent 7 years here making friends, taking trips, and learning to become an active member of this congregation while expanding my knowledge of the Unitarian faith as a whole. Behind me are a few photos of our adventures and activities from the last few years. I will truly miss this group of people, and I cherish the lifelong friends I have made here. Our youth group in our church is possible due to the generous donations from our congregants. Next week, our annual spring giving campaign kicks off. We invite you to attend a get-together to hear more about how your contributions make a difference to our community. Our first get-together is April 2nd. Please join us next Sunday for a chili lunch, both meat and vegan, in Beach Hall after the service. Thank you for making this community possible. Liam will now officially start our service with our youth group opening call and response. The text will be on the screen.
Welcome to the youth-led service, the Rainbow of Religion. Our youth group joins together with a multitude of religious ideas and beliefs. Today, we are going to share some of our current explorations. One of the ways we continue to find common ground is to open our meetings with our shared goal. Please join us in participating in our opening call and response. We gather, written by Annie Macharsky. We gather together. We gather together. For their strength and our numbers. We gather together. Our unity creates community. We gather together. To support, to encourage, and to know we belong. We would now like to invite any children who want to bring in the light to meet Amber out in the hall. Everyone else, please join me in centering ourselves as we listen to this morning's Prelude.
Hello, guys. Hi. Hi. Okay, now it is. Okay. Creating communities with love at the center. Love at the center. Love at the center. Creating communities with love at the center. Love at the center. Love at the center. Put love into action. Action with love at the center. Put love into action. Put love into action. Oh, put love into action with love at the center. Put love into action. Working for justice with love at the center. Love at the center. Love at the center. Working for justice with love at the center. Love at the center. Love at the center. Put love into. Oh, put love into action with love at the center. Put love into action. Put love into action. Oh, put love into action with love at the center. Put love into action. Engaging diversity with love at the center. Love at the center. Love at the center. Put love into action. Oh, put love into action with love at the center. Put love into action. Put love into action. Oh, put love into action with love at the center. Put love into action.
Good morning. I'm Ross, a member of the First UU Youth Group, and my pronouns are he, him. It is now time for our children to bring in the light. Our chalice lighting words are from a chalice lighting for children by Reverend Christian Schmidt and Alexis Kappen. We light this chalice for our children and youth and for us, celebrating the flame of faith lit in each of us, honoring the light each of us bring into this world, rejoicing in the community we create together.
One second. Thank you, Benjamin, for your help in lighting the chalice. Have to get to the right page. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. I am Cameron. I am a member of the First UU Youth Group, and my pronouns are she, they. Our service today is for all ages. There are no Sunday school classes, but Peace Pals Choir is rehearsing after the service. Families are invited to pick up a busy bag in the gallery and check out Sloter Lounge or our We Worship area. If you find you need a break from the service, children accompanied by an adult are welcome to use the board games and art supplies in A and B, or to go explore our playground. One of the youth group projects this year was to create a banned book library. The book bans in the US to their voices. When books are banned, we lose access to our history, to opportunity for growth and for vulnerable curiosity. Children especially are deprived of the chances to learn about other cultures, to practice empathy, and to ask questions. Please see Friday News to find the link to donate to our new banned book library. The library is located in the gallery. You are welcome to start reading one of these important books today. Today's story is one of the titles that was generously donated to the banned book library. Our book is called And Tango Makes Three, written by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell, and illustrated by Henry Cole. In the middle of New York City, there is a great big park called Central Park. Children love to play there. It has a toy boat pond where they can sail their boats. It has a carousel to ride on in the summer and an ice rink to skate on in the winter. Best of all, it has its very own zoo. Every day, families of all kinds go to visit the animals that live there. But children and their parents aren't the only families at the zoo. The animals make families of their own. There are red panda bear families. There are monkey dads and monkey moms raising noisy monkey babies. There are toad families and toucan families and cotton top to Marion. I don't know if I said that right. Families. And in the penguin house, there are penguin families. Same time, the girl penguins start noticing the boy penguins. And the boy penguins start noticing the girls. When the right girl and the right boy find each other, they become a couple. Two penguins in the penguin house were a little bit different. One was named Roy, and the other named Silo. Roy and Silo were both boys, but they did everything together. They bowed to each other and walked together. They sang to each other and swam together. Wherever Roy went, Silo went too. They didn't spend much time with the girl penguins, and the girl penguins didn't spend much time with them. Instead, Roy and Silo wound their necks around each other. Their keeper, Mr. Gramsci, noticed the two penguins and thought to himself, they must be in love. Every night, Roy and Silo slept there, just like the other penguin couples. And every morning, Roy and Silo woke up together. But one day, Roy and Silo saw that the other couples could do something that they could not. The mama penguin would lay an egg. She and the papa penguin would take turns keeping the egg warm until finally it would hatch. And then there would be a baby penguin. Roy and Silo had no egg to sit on and keep warm. They had no baby chick to feed and cuddle and love. Their nest was nice, but it was a little empty. One day, Roy found something that looked like what the other penguins were hatching, and he brought it to their nest. It was only a rock, but Silo carefully sat on it. And sat, he slept. And when Silo was done sleeping and sitting, he swam, and Roy sat. Day after day, Silo and Roy sat on the rock. But nothing happened. Then Mr. Gramsci got an idea. He found an egg that needed to be cared for, and he brought it to Roy and Silo's nest. Roy and Silo knew just what to do. Some days, Roy sat while Silo went for food. Other days, it was Silo's turn to take care of their egg. They sat in the morning, and they sat at night. They sat through lunchtime and swim time and supper. They sat at the beginning of the month, and they sat at the end of the month, and they sat at all of the days in between. Until one day, they heard a sound coming from inside their egg. What sound do you think they heard coming from inside their egg? Any of you have any guesses? Thank you, sibling, for putting it at the screen. That is very helpful. I appreciate you. You are correct. It is up there. Thank you for the peeps. It's perfect. Peep, 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 it said. Roy and Silo called back. Squawk, squawk. Peep, peep, answered the egg. Suddenly, a tiny hole appeared in the egg shell, and then Roy and Silo were fathers. We'll call her Tango, Mr. Gramsci decided, because it takes two to make a tango. Roy and Silo taught Tango how to sing for them when she was hungry. They fed her food right from their beaks. They snuggled her in their nest at night. Tango was the very first penguin in the zoo to have two daddies. Soon, Tango grew strong enough to leave the nest. Roy and Silo took her for a swim, just like all the other penguin families. And all the children who came to the zoo could see Tango and her two fathers playing in the penguin house with the other penguins. Hooray, Roy! Hooray, Silo! Welcome, Tango, they cheered. There, they snuggled together, and like all the other penguins in the penguin house, and all the other animals in the zoo, and all the families in the big city around them, they went to sleep. The end. Please check out the library and find more books like this one out there. I now invite the congregation to form a sheltering arc of love as we sing our young people back to their families. For many of us, faith exploration started here in this building. We have also spent time learning about the faiths that surround us outside of these walls. Our youth group members will now share with you the religions that have sparked their interest.
Hello there. My name is Violet, and today I will be doing the Greek mythology portion of the Rainbow of Religions, but I'll be bringing it to you in the form of puppets. Take it away, Puppet Me. Thank you, Real Me, and hello, audience. Today, I will talk about one of the creation's myths and where it came from. In the beginning, there was nothing but a big black void, kind of like a gloomy, misty soup named the Gap. And one day, it wanted to have some fun. So it condensed into the Earth, and the Earth gained a consciousness named Gia, who could take a human form and walk across the Earth or herself. But she got lonely and asked the Gap for a friend. So the Gap made the sky named Uranus. And Uranus and Gaia had some kids. And these kids were named the Titans. And they were happy, but eventually Uranus got mad with power. claiming he was the reason for the Earth. Not true. And the Titans noticed, but no one stood up except for one, Kronos. Kronos was the runt of the litter. He was about 7 feet, which is scrawny for a Titan, and he didn't get to play with his older siblings. So he decided he would step up and stop his father. And he asked the siblings to help, because he couldn't do it on his own. And he said that each of his siblings who would help would get one corner or direction of the globe. And 4 of his siblings agreed. And so they had Gaia lure him to a spot where they used to meet up. And then he and his siblings jumped out and chopped him up, so that way he could not return to the Earth and had to stay in the sky. And that is how the myth goes. There are some other details that I'm not going to get into today, but the origin, there are like many different versions of the Greek creation myths. And when I looked it up on Wikipedia, it says Hesiod was a Greek poet and philosopher, but I couldn't find any evidence, so I emailed a professor at Ohio State University who looked into this stuff, and the response I got was pretty helpful. They said that Hesiod composed one of the Greek creation myths, which is called the Theogony, also the one I told you, but there are other versions, and the way these myths got spread around was through festivals dedicated to the gods, but on other occasions as well.
Hello again. All right, this morning I will be speaking on the subject of Buddhism. Buddhism originated in South Asia around the 5th century BCE, and like most great religions, it has divided into multiple traditions. Most traditions share a set of fundamental beliefs, and for this, it's Buddha's primary teaching. The core teachings to Buddhism are the three universal truths, the 4 noble truths, and the Eightfold Path. Buddhists believe that the human life is a cycle of suffering and rebirth, but that if one achieves a state of enlightenment, also known as nirvana, it is possible to escape the cycle forever. The 4 noble truths explain the cycle of suffering and rebirth. The first truth is suffering. Humans are born into a world of suffering. From birth to death, suffering occurs. The second truth is the cause of suffering, which is craving. Craving is the delights and pleasures of the eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and body. Where such cravings arise and take root, there will be suffering. Craving for delight and pleasure of the mind also causes suffering. The third truth is cessation of suffering. This is what may bring suffering to an end. It's said that freedom from desire will bring the extinction of suffering. To achieve freedom from desire, you must use the 4th noble truth, the path. The path is the middle way. It can lead to liberation, peace, discernment, and enlightenment. The middle way contains 8 steps, otherwise known as the Eightfold Path. The steps to the Eightfold Path are as follows: the right to understanding, thought, speech, action, livelihood, effort, mindfulness, and the right concentration. In most recent times, these 8 elements are not portrayed as prescriptions for behavior. Now they are seen as qualities present in a person who understands nirvana, the state of cessation of suffering and the goal of Buddhism. It is an admirable goal to end suffering. I wonder what our world would look like without suffering. Would we know pleasure and hope without pain? Or would we truly be at a place where love is at the center of all things? Thank you. The exploration and expression of one's faith can take many forms, and for Adam, it always starts with dance.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. I said, don't mind, but what do you mean? I am the one who could dance on the floor in the round. She said, I am the one who would dance on the floor in the round. She told me her name was Billie Jean as she crossed the scene. Then heavy hair turned with the ice to dream of being the one who would dance on the floor in the round. People always told me, be careful what you do. Don't go around breaking young girls' hearts. And mother always told me, be careful who you love. Be careful what you do. Cause the love becomes the truth. The Billie Jean's not my lover. She's just a girl who claims that I am the one. But the kid is not my son. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son. She says I am the one, but the kid is not my son.
Thank you, Adam. Hello again. I have returned. I am Desmond Ducey, and I will be speaking on the topic of Norse mythology. Slide, please. Slide, please. So, first, I would like to speak about my issue with the Norse people. So, the Norse were Vikings, as you may know. They lived in Scandinavia, which is modern-day Denmark, Finland, Norway, and Sweden. And they were masters of the sea, and they made a lot of really cool weapon technology, and they even had a writing system, which is great for someone like me that wants to learn about their mythology, because they can write stuff down, and then we, as modern-day people, can read that stuff and learn about it. The funny thing about the Norse is that they didn't write anything down, so we don't know very much about their religion, and we have very little evidence to go off of. Slide, please. So first, I want to talk about some pretty common gods. So first is Odin. He was the Allfather, which basically means he's in charge of the gods, but it's just a title. It doesn't really ever actually come into play that much. He's also in charge, the Lord of the Desirable Dead, which are people that die in battle. And if you don't die in battle, then you're lame. I'm sorry. That's what the Norse believed. Another very prominent god is Thor, which a lot of you may know from the Marvel movies. He was the god of thunder. Loki, who also is a Marvel character, and he was kind of the god of mischief. He's considered to be the god of mischief today, but it's actually unclear what he might have originally been the god of. Hel, she's the lord of the underworld. She's Loki's daughter, and she's the god of the undesirable dead, so all the lame people that didn't die in battle. And Baldur, who's very important because he gets murdered, and that causes the end of the world. He's basically the golden child that everyone loves, and because of that, Loki hates him. Next slide, please. So the Norse are very important in modern day because they influence the days of the week. So Sunday is the sun's day, like our star. Monday is Moon's day. Tuesday is Tyr's day. He is a Norse god that's not as important. Wednesday is Odin's day. You might be wondering how you get Wednesday from Odin, because they don't sound similar at all. Because Odin actually had a lot of different names, and one of them sounded similar to Wednesday, apparently. Thursday was Thor's day, and Friday was Frigg's day, who is the wife of Odin. And then Saturday is Saturn's day. Saturn is a planet and also a Roman god. I don't know how this happened. but it did. Here we are. Slide, please. So, some notable characteristics about the gods, Norse gods, is that they can die, and all of them do die. Not all of them, technically, but all the ones that people care about die. So, basically all of them. Slide, please. So something really special about the Norse, it was Christianization. So around the 12th century, Christians in Europe realized that Scandinavia exists and that they weren't Christian. So a lot of Christian philosophers moved to Scandinavia and tried to Christianize their religion. Because they didn't want to offend the Norse religion, they turned a lot of the Norse gods into heroes and instead of actual gods, so that the God that they believed in could be the one God. And most Norse were actually fine with this. But they also had to change some myths, which is frustrating because the main text that we have on the Norse myths was written after Christianization, so a lot of it may be inaccurate. But for example, we do know the creation myth had to do with a giant man and a giant cow, and the Christians didn't like that because it didn't involve God. Slide, please. Thank you.
It's way too low.
Each one of us has something special that makes us different, that makes us rare. We have a light that shines within us that we were always meant to share. And when we come together, combine the light that shines within, there is nothing we can do, there is no battle we can win. When we come together, I'll be that star to guide the way inside us every day. See now, let the rainbow remind you that together we will always shine. Let the rainbow remind you that forever this will be our time. Let the rainbow remind you that together we will always shine.
Hello, my name is Harper Mayab. I'm a part of the youth group here at the church, and I'm discussing, listen, man. I'm discussing agnosticism. Schrodinger's cat is a thought experiment in which a cat and a poisonous substance are placed in a box. And until the box is opened, the cat has to be considered both dead and alive. Religion, death, and the afterlife are my Schrodinger's cat. Agnosticism is the belief that the existence of God, the divine, the supernatural, and the afterlife is unknown and unknowable. The thought that nothing can truly be believed or not believed without concrete proof. The belief in neither the existence or the lack of a God. Agnosticism comes from the Greek word agnostos, meaning unknowable, which explains it pretty well. While the English biologist Henry Huxley coined the word agnostic in 1869, it stated, "It simply means that a man shall not say he knows or believes that which he has no scientific grounds for professing to know or believe." Earlier thinkers, however, had written works that promoted agnostic points of view, such as Sanjaya Belatputta, a 5th century BCE Indian philosopher who expressed agnosticism about any afterlife, and Protagoras, a 5th century BCE Greek philosopher who expressed agnosticism about the existence of the gods. In my eyes, it's a way to remain open
while maintaining spiritual values from multiple religions, as if you are creating your own unique relationship with yourself and the universe. Always in some sort of fluidity without settling down with just one permanent idea with permanent ideals. It's about belief, non-belief, and the wonderful freedom that comes with the skeptic's question. Please welcome my friend Teddy Davidson, who will tell us about the oldest, newest religion, paganism.
Thank you, Harper. Good morning. My name is Teddy Davidson. I use he, him, and they, them pronouns. And today I'll be speaking on the subject of paganism. Paganism as a term is a belief in a religion or interpretation of one that is not one of the world's main or most prominent religions. People who believe in paganism often believe in either a god or more than one god, such as the pantheons of the aforementioned Greek and Norse, or simply nature as a whole or even the earth itself. Individual pagans often believe in different gods and pantheons, but are generally united in the fact that their interpretations of deities are here with the earth and the natural world, rather than the more distant, all-powerful beings. The main beliefs that paganism tends to follow are that nature is sacred, and the natural cycles of birth, growth, and decay found in the natural world are profoundly spiritual in nature. They view the world as a place of joy and life, not suffering and wickedness, and with the divine again here in the natural world, not distant. Many people today still celebrate different pagan holidays, with examples being Yule or winter solstice, both celebrating making it through the darkest nights of the year, that the days are getting longer, the spring equinox, which my family celebrates, of the days getting longer. No, the spring equinox, which my family celebrates, about the changing of the seasons, the turning of the greenery, and there are many more holidays to celebrate the many changing of the seasons and celebrate being together. Today, modern pagans still gather in groups large or small to share the personal practice and to celebrate the changing of the seasons and embrace community. In conclusion, paganism is a broad religion that takes many forms, all on the basis of respecting the earth and its creatures and our fellow human beings. Thank you.
Well, hello again. I'm Ross, and I am sharing about my faith focus today, which is atheism. Atheism is a belief that has been around for a long time, a concept that isn't new. Simply put, atheism is the critical evaluation of the idea of God, a being claimed by theists to be omnipotent, omniscient, and the creator of the universe. But atheism is frequently misinterpreted and distorted. While atheism does not insist that God does not exist, it does deny the existence of any sort of higher force. There is no ideological current or established body of ideas associated with atheism. Atheism is neither anti-God nor inevitably logical or scientific. I connect to this belief, as I also share the lack of belief in an omnipotent being. I've grown up feeling a disconnect with the word God, as it did not hold meaning for me. I instead looked to nature and the creatures that lived amongst us and held my belief in what I could see. There is no God, Percy Bysshe Shelley put bluntly. He is an English poet who wrote the book The Necessities of Atheism. He held the opinion that morality should not be based on the worry of divine punishment, but rather on a sense of empathy and compassion for others. In conclusion, atheism is a way of thinking that affirms human potential to produce wonder and significance in this life without the need for intervention of a higher being. It strengthens the ties that bind people together by acknowledging that humans can be moral, ethical, and rational creatures. Thank you.
As everyone else has said, hello again. Today I'll be talking about humanism. Humanism is a philosophical and ethical approach that emphasizes the value and agency of human beings, individually and collectively. It is a worldview that places human interests, values, and dignity at the center of human experience. At its core, humanism values reason, science, and critical thinking as the best ways to understand the world and make informed decisions. It emphasizes the importance of individual autonomy, freedom, social responsibility, and compassion for others. Humanism also places great importance on the arts, literature, and culture as ways to express human creativity and imagination and to connect people across time and place. After all, I'm sure many of us agree that art and connection make us human. It celebrates the diversity of human experience and encourages individuals to explore and discover their own unique potential. In terms of practical implications, humanism promotes human rights, social justice, and equality while embracing equity. It encourages individuals to take responsibility for their own lives and to work towards creating a better world for all people without the requirement of worshiping a deity with faith and/or belief in one in order to do good. The only faith required is in yourself and others. Overall, humanism offers a positive and optimistic vision of human potential grounded in reason and empathy. It emphasizes the importance of individual and collective flourishing and encourages people to use their abilities and resources to create a more just and equitable society. Thank you.
Hello again. I will be reading our caring meditation today once I get to the correct page. For this morning's caring meditation, we share the words of Reverend Teresa L. Soto from The Life, Slow and Precious. It is a truth, though it may not always feel like one, that you are worth more than the things that you do. That your being a worthy human being lives in a different domain than all of your failures, but also the collected sum of your successes. Combining your worth with your results is something like using the sheet music for Beethoven's Fifth Symphony to make an apple pie or build a doghouse. There is no way for the question to resolve in a final answer. By virtue of being alive, you matter, and you cannot be more deserving of dignity, of respect, of love. Sometimes people make mistakes, but even that cannot change that you are meant to be festooned with celebration of your humanity. If your progress is slow, your movements small, remember that you don't have to compete for compassion. You don't have to compare what you can observe of another's life to make sure that you measure up. You are definitely yourself. What is slow is also valuable. Some of the oldest seeds ever sprouted are narrow-leafed campion that grew, even though the seeds were 32,000 years old, more or less. They had to survive to be able to bloom, encased in ice, thawed, and brought to life. The most important thing is that you make it, no matter how imperceptible the movement, how long it takes to reach the best version of who you mean to be. You are irreplaceable. You are meant to live.
Thank you, Cameron. Wonderful. Aren't these guys great? I'm so proud of them. All right. My name is Andy Mocharski, and I am your program assistant, your youth group coordinator, your tech coordinator, and my pronouns are she, they. Working with our youth here at First UU reminds me of the saying that the days are long, but the years are short. We are so fortunate to have these amazing young people here growing strong within this community. Yes, we can cheer. Cheer again. I am so grateful to have the opportunity to watch them all grow, and I can't wait to see what they do in the future with all that they have learned here and the things that we have done to help shape and mold them and the things that they have done to create this community with us. So this morning, one more round of applause for our First UU youth. I would now like to invite Barb Fiorini, our pastoral listener, to come forward to read our joys and sorrows that have been submitted during this past week and this morning. Thank you, Barb.
Thanks, Andy, and thank you again to the youth for everything. This has been an amazing service so far. My name's Barbara Fiorini, and my pronouns are she and her. And we have 3 caring cards this morning. We send our loving condolences to Emily V.C., whose husband, Bruce Colson, died on Tuesday, March 21st, after a year-long illness. And we'd like to offer our congratulations to Chaz W., our attorney of record and former board chair, who's been nominated for election to serve our shared faith as a member of the Board of Review. It is the highest authority and final appeal opportunity for ministers and credentialed religious educators whose fellowship or credentials have been removed by the Ministerial Fellowship Committee or the Religious Educators Credentialing Committee. Please join in and express gratitude to Chaz for his continuing service and support of our larger Unitarian Universalist community. And we'd like to wish Ron R. a very happy birthday. He will celebrate his 86th birthday on Monday, March 27th. And we have two announcements. We send our care to Kathy M., who is in home hospice, end-of-life care. Prayers are requested for her peace and strength, as well as for her husband, Dan. And Kathleen Fowler wishes to acknowledge the hard work that went into the rummage sale. A huge thank you to all the hard workers who came together to make the rummage sale an overwhelming success. And a big round of applause goes to Carolee Noonan and the Rummage Sale Committee, who guided us so well through all the components of this important fundraiser. So please visit the caring table in Beach Hall after the service each week to say hello to our volunteers and sign caring cards that will be sent to the people in our community. Thank you.
In March, we are sharing our offering with Bottoms Up Diaper Bank. Did you know that 1 in 3 families in the U.S. struggle to afford diapers for their children? The average baby needs 6 to 10 diapers per day, but for many low-income families, this basic necessity is out of reach. Bottoms Up is a nonprofit organization working to help our parents access enough clean diapers for the families. To give, please scan the QR code, text the number at the screen, or visit firstucolumbus.org. Donate. No matter the ability to financially give, we are grateful that you are here. Our offering will now be gratefully received. Thank you for your generosity.
Down below, when you're too in love to let it go. But if you never try, you never know just what you want. tears stream down your face when you lose something you cannot replace. Tears stream down your face, and tears stream down your face. I promise you I will learn from my mistakes. Tears stream down your face, and lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you.
Hello. Good afternoon, even. I'm John McChrystal, and my pronouns are he and him. During our mid-year meeting last month, our congregation voted to join the First Unitarian Universalist Society of San Francisco in ordaining Meg McGuire to the Unitarian Universalist ministry. Meg grew up in this congregation and then completed seminary, chaplaincy training, and her ministerial internship in and around San Francisco. Shirley and I, along with Deborah Boyd, who is out of town and sends her love, make up the Columbus contingent of Meg's planning committee of Meg's ordination, which will be held on April 16th in San Francisco. One of the many ways that our congregation will be physically present for the service in San Francisco will be through the stole that we will gift Meg following the act of ordination. Deb Ballew has created a beautiful and meaningful stole for the occasion and is here to talk about it with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Excuse me. I'm honored to have been asked to create this stole for Meg. I did it with great pleasure. I've known her since she was 7. We spent some time together in January to talk about this and what were her important things to her. What were her favorite things to do, her favorite places, colors, what would be a spiritual symbol, a quote or a song, and this is what came out. And I'll show you some of it. She shared that, she shared that her, one of the important things that she loved to do was ride bikes, and she's ridden all over this country. Her favorite place was the Olentangy bike path here in Columbus. So together with the teals and greens, I've created a suggested bike path on here. Her spiritual symbol, that was an interesting story, is yarn. Well, that spoke to me. And I said, how yarn? And she said, one of my first retreats with women in San Francisco involved a ball of yarn. We tossed the ball of yarn out and then followed the path wherever it led. So you can't really see it from afar, but up close you can see on here, there's a blue yarn line that follows all the way up and around. That is a symbol of her spirituality. I asked her for a quote, and on the back is the quote, "All that you touch, you change. All that you change, changes you." Octavia Butler. And the back of the quote, the back of the quilt also has the dedication. The First Unitarian Universalist Church of Columbus presents this stole to Reverend Meg McGuire in celebration of her ordination, April 16th, 2023. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Today, we can offer our blessing as a community, blessing this stole and blessing Meg's ministry. This blessing will be used in the service itself before the stole is presented. We invite you to rise, come forward if you feel the drive to do that, connect as you feel comfortable with your neighbor, as we offer these words of blessing printed on the screen. Reverend Meg, you grew out from among us, guided by our values and our love, called forth to serve our tradition and the larger love that holds us all. Through this stole, we make manifest the trust we place in you. Through this stole, we offer our blessing on your ministry. Through this stole, we offer this reminder of where you come from and where you can yet go.
With this blessing, we pass this stole to our board co-chair, Jan Phillips. Jan will perform the act of ordination on behalf of our congregation and will present this stole to Meg. And don't forget, you can join the watch party here in the Worship Center on April 16th at 5 p.m. or join the live stream from home. And you are invited to a time of snacks and celebration after the service with Reverend Meg McGuire on May 7th in Beach Hall.
Our youth group has been on a mission this year to build a deep connection to this place. We are working to create our own spiritual toolboxes to help us put purpose behind our practices. We shared and spoke about keeping ourselves healthy both physically, mentally, and we made a commitment to support one another in community.
Our youth group is open and accepting all youth. We really mean it when we say that. We truly welcome everyone, no matter your ethnicity, disability, orientation, or diversity. You are welcome here, and I hope you join us. Join in on our adventures out into our community and beyond. Join us in learning our part in shaping a better future for ourselves and the generations to come. Come find hope with us.
I would now like you to invite the youth group back to the chancel and for everyone to please rise in body or spirit to sing A Little Bit of Love by Weezer. This lyric will appear on the screen.
little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Take a look at where you started from and where you are today. You climbed mountains, swam oceans, you got knocked down and kept going. In the end, you know you got to say a little bit of love goes a pretty long way. All your wounds are healing fine. I'm so glad I got you in my life. Now the winter frost is gone. Now is our chance to live the life we want. A little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Everybody's lost, and that's okay. Some show it, some hide it, but there's a battle we're all fighting. So if you're looking for the words to say, a little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Holding on to the rabbit's feet, walking down the sunny side of the street. Shadows creeping at your back. You can forget I'm like an amnesiac. A little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Love is really like a wonder drug. Let's medicate and say goodbye to the drama. It's a beeline to nirvana. If you're looking for the words to say, a little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Hey, whoa, hey, whoa, hey, whoa, hey, whoa. A little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Take a look at where you started from, where you are today. You climbed mountains, swam oceans, you got knocked down and kept going. In the end, you got to say a little bit of love goes a pretty long way. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. A little bit of love goes a pretty long way.
Please link hands or hold them over your heart and join me in speaking our vision statement as we extinguish our chalice together. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of vision. As we go forth, let us heal and transform ourselves and our world through reason and love. Please remain seated as Teddy leads us in the youth group departing song. The lyrics will appear on the screen.
We're going to repeat this 4 times, and each time it gets faster and louder as a heads up. So, go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go. Go now in peace, now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere. Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us